I'm 100% sure that Mat Armstrong's F80 M3 is stolen, and in this video, we break the story and have an interview with MDATAWORKS.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it, unfortunately.
Who worked it out.
So what exactly happened?
He bought a car that looked perfect on the surface, but after a little bit of digging, it looks like it could have been cloned.
So what if a vehicle left the country and in fact the V5 was never handed back? In theory, a criminal gang could get hold of this V5 and put another car that was stolen back on the road. All they'd have to do is change the VIN, change the mileage, and, well, they would be away. Now, this is a story exactly of that, and it happening to one of the largest YouTubers in the world.
I think I've got a banging deal.
So today, we're going to speak about Mat Armstrong and his cloned BMW M3.
It hasn't been damaged as far as we know of yet.
And by the end of this, you may now understand how a harmless YouTube build has now just turned into a stolen car from South London. So the story begins with Mat Armstrong going to Copart and purchasing a beautiful F80 M3 in Yas Marina Blue with an opal white interior. Anyone's dream specification by any standards. Before buying this car, Mat Armstrong ran a CarVertical, and the history check came back completely clear. No red flags, no insurance write-offs, no stolen markers. So case closed, right? Well, not quite.
The post that changed everything. On the morning of the 25th of November 2025, MDATAWORKS made a post that, well, really sent ripples through the car community.
They thought that Mat Armstrong's BMW may well have been cloned. They compared the visible specification with the car with the VIN link data. Because when you run the VIN from Matt's car, it comes back as a Yas Marina Blue, which is a tick, a black Merino Schwartz interior when his car is opal, and a non-competition model. The car that Matt owns has an opal leather interior and a competition spec, a completely different interior and trim configuration. And now, yes, you could add these points, but if it was 1, I could see it. 2, and the story starts to crack. The stolen M3 connection. In May 2023 at 1:53 AM, a post on Facebook was shared around a local group specifying that a BMW F80 M3 had been stolen from a driveway in Beddington / Carlsharton Sutton area. The description? A Yas Marina Blue, opal leather interior, competition. Now, does that not sound familiar? The spec is actually extremely rare. Looking at the comments on my shorts, this was something that I wanted to make sure I got right. The data suggests that only 5 cars left the factory in that exact configuration coming to the UK. So the chance of being able to create a perfect twin of a car there's only 5 of is statistically very, very low. Then we might as well get on a flight to Cyprus. This is where things get stranger. A VIN associated to the BMW M3 was reportedly last seen in Cyprus in 2022, and if legitimately exported, the DVLA would have been notified, effectively retiring that car off the road from UK use. But according to insights shared by motoring YouTubers like Mark McCann, there's a dark pattern emerging. When a car gets legitimately exported, it seems that criminals clone the identity onto a very visually similar car in spec, creating the perfect paper trail for a car that technically shouldn't be here. Beyond the interior mismatch, the service record discrepancies and spec inconsistencies further fuel suspicion. Minor differences that on their own might seem irrelevant, but together form a pattern too concerning to ignore. This doesn't prove any wrongdoing by Matt. In fact, far from it. A lot of questions in that video were asked about why it even ended up in Copart, apart from the ticking from the engine. So, what do we get from this? He could potentially just be another victim of a wider industry problem. So if the VIN data doesn't match the physical car, and there is another car that sits abroad, and the matching stolen BMW was stolen, well, from London, then what exactly is Matt driving?
So in making this video, we've actually made a bit of a breakthrough, and I'm just about to jump on a call with MDATAWORKS, and he's going to explain exactly how he got to the point of it being a cloned car. Hi, David.
Hey.
How are we doing?
All right, fine, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Yeah, perfect. Awesome stuff. Well, first of all, I think it's been confirmed that you were right. Mat Armstrong has commented now, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. He's added a comment on the post I made. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it, unfortunately.
They're not at all. So that's the thing that was kind of interesting. I posted a little story about it yesterday, and I had so many people saying, well, can't you just change an interior colour and a few other elements?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And people do, people like to put a black in or put a lighter colour in, and it does happen, absolutely. So that on its own wasn't the giveaway.
So
but,
why did you look in the first place? Because like I've had a lot of
yeah.
people post in the comments. What to you was the problem with that car?
Right, so it's quite interesting. So if I go back to Sunday evening, really, when the video first dropped, I'm on N3 Cutters forum quite extensively right
Okay.
across there, and on that forum there is a legend of a person called Smuller, who just pulls all sorts of rabbits out of hats in terms of history of cars. He can find anything and everything on a particular car. So he messaged me on Sunday and said, Matt's just got this video. He's bought an M3. Could I run my report against it?
Yeah.
So I've got some quite detailed reports I can run on cars. So we had the reg from Matt's car because it's in the video, PF67VWP, and that matches to this VIN number here.
Okay.
And so I ran my report. This is my report. Shows the MOT history. Looks fine. Yeah. Matt's car's supposedly done 16,000 miles. October MOT says that. So again, a CarVertical would have said the same, and all looks good. But if we scroll down to the service history for the car Matt's got, it begins to look a little bit odd. So his car's done 16,000 miles, but the VIN for that registration was recorded at 19,000 miles in 2019 at Lloyd Blackpool BMW. And then since then, it's been seen in Cyprus in 2022.
Okay.
So that's a little bit, that's a little bit off, isn't it? It does clearly suggest something is off. And then I pulled up the factory spec for, again, Matt's car, so 5K97085, and immediately we get a picture, a nice picture showing the interior, completely different colour to the car in its possession. They also mentioned in the video that it's a competition car, so it's an M3 competition. Unfortunately, this model isn't a competition.
Okay.
So if you scroll down here, you'd expect to see option 7MA, 7MN here for the competition pack. It's just not on the spec for the car with that identity.
Okay.
So yeah, immediately alarm bells are going with that. So while I was doing this and running the reports, looking at the factory spec, looking at the service history, Smuller was doing his digging to see what stolen Yas Marina Blue M3s he could dig up.
Yeah.
Sadly, there are more than one.
Yes.
There have been several over the years. So he sent me a couple which weren't a match. But then he found this one. I'll see if I can pull up the photo of it. Yeah, this one here. He sent me this, and here we've got a Yas Marina Blue. You can see it's got a light interior there, and was stolen in May 2023. So, excuse me. So I ran my report on this car, and if we can bring that up.
It's interesting, really, because I noticed when Mat Armstrong commented on your video, he said, well, CarVertical wouldn't know this, and it's true, isn't it? Because all someone's done is they've watched a car leave the UK. When they know that's been retired, they've then, however they've found out.
Potentially, yeah. So I think when people officially export cars, it should be updated on the DVLA systems to show it's exported. That hasn't happened on that car with Matt's identity. Now, I don't know if that's because they didn't do the paperwork to submit to DVLA or whether they did, but it, for whatever reason, hasn't been updated. I wouldn't know. But we've got this car now that we know has been stolen. It's Yas Marina Blue, light interior. And if I bring up my report for this car, again, we've got a nice service history. So again, we've got a different VIN because obviously, this is it. But Matt very helpfully videoed his iDrive service history. Yeah. So you can see we've got a nice lot of history here. It looks great. Lots of history, showing that it's been well serviced through the years. So when we come down to this stolen car, what we find is that it's a perfect match. We've got 10,203 miles on Matt's car, 10,203 miles on the stolen car, 14th of October. And so it goes on at 8,806.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty irrefutable evidence with, especially
exactly.
with the spec. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we go further down, and what have we got here? 5056, 20th of March, 1337, all in Berry Croydon, where the car was stolen from. And yeah, the running in service. So the pre-delivery inspection rather at 6 miles here, again on the 6th of March. So it's, there's no doubt that the car
that is the car, isn't
it? Yeah, so it really didn't take very long at all. So you were mentioning, CarVertical wouldn't pick this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they charge an awful lot of money for these reports. They charge, I think I had a look, and they're like £32 for one report, or I could probably use Matt's code and get a 20% discount, but it's still a lot of money. And all they're doing, as you say, is just looking at the registration and the VIN. Does that match? And has it got MOT history? Has it got any stolen markers against that registration? No. And that's what all of these vehicle reports that you can buy do, and you can pay as little as, I think, £10 for these vehicle reports, and they'll give very similar information around that. The only way you could have picked, or Matt could have picked this up, is to have looked at the factory spec or got the service history. You could have asked a friendly BMW dealer for that information. I'm sure they'd have helped. But that's the only way you could do that. Whether that's something CarVertical should be offering, I don't know. I guess they'd have to offer it across all brands. But I think there is mention on their website that they do include kind of service history and spec information, but clearly it didn't come through in this example.
Yeah, I guess the other side of it as well is that obviously it went to Copart for a reason. That's where he purchased it from.
16,000 miles car at Copart,
Yeah, so you'd expect that there must have been some denotation that it had been stolen at some point, but obviously not, apart from the ticking on the engine, they said.
Yes, exactly. I might be able to pull up the Copart listing if I can find where my map.
So, I mean, just hopefully that anyone watching, if they want to kind of get in contact or follow you, what is it you do exactly? Now, I see on your Instagram, you're able to find kind of one-of-one specs of BMWs, etc., and obviously have access to this sort of software. So what is it you do day to day?
Yeah, so I've spent a lot of years around BMW M3s, really. That's kind of my background. I've had one for 17 years now.
Is that the one behind you in your photo?
Yeah, that's another one I've got, which is I've had that one 3 years coming up for. So yeah, I just got interested in the data side of it, how many were made and that sort of thing. So that's kind of how it all started. And I've collected an awful amount of data over so many years around BMW M models. But what I'm actually currently working on launching is a vehicle report, which is what I've kind of shown you there, where you could pay CarVertical for is it stolen, or you could pay other companies for is it stolen, or you could buy one of my reports, which would tell you if it's stolen and on finance and all.
Going right into the details.
But it would also give you the service history, also give you the factory spec.
Oh, wow.
So that's what's currently under development with MDATAWORKS, and we'll hopefully be launching that in the new year.
Oh, awesome.
So this was it, 12th of November, so only a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, so this is where he bought it. This was the pictures he saw. Yeah, that's it from the salvage auction.
I mean, it does look like a very clean car, but you just wouldn't know, would you?
Yeah, I did notice the VIN label, I think, is missing. Normally you have a VIN label on this side of the engine bay. I did notice that's missing.
Someone said they noticed
label is still on the other side, but normally there would be a VIN label on this side, which appears to be missing.
Someone mentioned as well that they couldn't see one inside the door card when it opened as well.
Yeah, I think it is there though. You can just catch it in a shot, one of the shots very quickly. But I'd like to see a close-up of it. It would be interesting if it looks like it's been tampered with, or if it's clearly a copy, or that would be interesting. But yeah, so that's from the salvage auction.
Does it say when that was?
Yeah, 12th of November.
12th of November, perfect. Okay.
That's when he bought it. Yeah, so 2 weeks ago.
Well, it's insane, really, that all this has come together and found out what happened to it.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting is that sadly, cloned cars does happen. Stolen cars, stolen regularly, and they do get cloned. Probably this year, discovered at least 3 cloned BMW M3s and M4s, maybe
Really?
4. A lot of them with Smuller's help, obviously from M3 cutters. We've managed to solve things. Cars pop up for sale, doesn't match factory spec. Service history is off, things like this. Also, curiously, you saw the Cyprus link with this one.
Yeah.
That the original car was seen in Cyprus. I'm sure 2 other cars from this year that turned out to be cloned had a Cyprus link about them.
Oh,
that
really?
the original car had gone to Cyprus at some point. So yeah, I don't
there's
know if
something not adding
might
up.
be a connection there. Somebody's exporting cars to Cyprus and then recycling the ID. So I don't know.
It could well be if you have the capacity to get them on a ship. There would be very little information or data that they went abroad.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know.
Fantastic.
But yeah, it's definitely not the first Cyprus connection I've had with a stolen clone car.
Yeah. Well, we had comments a lot saying that it had a G series key, which was incorrect for the car.
Yes, I didn't spot that, but yes, some of the people commenting, I thought, that's
and that horrid steering wheel.
Yeah, and what's interesting as well is the original owner who had it stolen. He reached out to me.
Did he?
So he found, somebody tagged him and he reached out to me. He said, still got both keys for the car, still got all the original documentation for the car.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. Good. Well, thank you for your time. It's actually, it was a really cool rabbit hole to go down, and seeing the clarity that it has to be that car is just incredible. Yeah. So I've just jumped off the call with David from MDATAWORKS, and well, to be honest, there is no question that is Matt's car. It has been cloned, and we have got to the bottom of this story. Mat Armstrong has now actually commented on it, so it's coming in the next video. We know that it is the truth. Do you want to go out? Come on then, we'll go out. We're going out, you're coming for a walk. Let's be honest, CarVertical aren't at fault in any which way. They gave the correct HPI check on a number plate or VIN of a clean car. The issue was the non-clean car was wearing that VIN and number plate. So don't let it put you off using searches such as that. That being said, it does raise a wider question of why these cars have all been sent to Cyprus and whether there is a large organised crime ring that are using exported cars to put stolen cars back on the road. So if you want to see a video about that, well, subscribe and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.